Power, whether obtained from nuclear energy or other sources, is crucial for life, even in distant places such as other planets or the vastness of space. The utilization of nuclear energy, coupled with a consistent and robust electricity supply, holds immense potential for enhancing and expediting interplanetary travel, while also reducing costs. NASA has shown support for SpaceX's nuclear rocket technology, which could pave the way for the future of space travel. This innovative approach has the capacity to significantly reduce journey durations to far-flung destinations, provide greater flexibility in launches, and ensure the safety of astronauts during spaceflight. Moreover, it has the potential to decrease the likelihood of hostile attacks against satellites. But what exactly is this space technology, and how does it operate? Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of SpaceX's groundbreaking nuclear-powered Starship, causing ripples of excitement throughout the entire space industry. We are witnessing a rare convergence of technological advancements, financial support, and political determination that is propelling the realization of space-borne nuclear reactors into a tangible and commonplace reality. NASA, in its pursuit of an ambitious mission named Artemis, akin to the legendary Apollo program, aims to construct a lunar colony for crewed missions with an eventual goal of human exploration and settlement on Mars. To facilitate these endeavors, the White House set a target of delivering a 10-kilowatt nuclear power system to the Moon's surface within a decade. Currently, this project stands as the top priority for NASA's Space Technology Mission Directorate. Furthermore, in a display of confidence and commitment, congressional appropriators allocated $110 million to NASA in July 2021 for the advancement of a new nuclear rocket capable of transporting both people and cargo to other planets. Notably, this funding was provided without even being requested by NASA, highlighting the widespread recognition of the potential of this technology. The increased sense of urgency observed can be attributed to the space agency's clear objective of establishing a moon base within the next decade. This ambitious goal presents a significant challenge, bordering on the realm of impossibility, without the utilization of nuclear power. Moreover, the prospect of human presence on Mars adds another layer of complexity. Surprisingly, the development of a nuclear reactor for space travel does not require any major technological breakthroughs. In fact, the United States has previously achieved this feat back in 1965 when the Air Force successfully developed and launched a functional prototype. However, the real challenge lies in navigating the intricate network of nuclear regulations, ensuring that any strategy for utilizing nuclear power beyond Earth does not unnecessarily limit NASA to solely operating on the lunar surface or other isolated deep space destinations. Ideally, nuclear power can be harnessed for both robotic exploration of the solar system and crewed missions to the Moon and Mars. To comprehend the concept of thrust, which is the foundation of rocket propulsion, imagine releasing the nozzle of an air-filled balloon. As the air escapes, the balloon propels in the opposite direction. The force responsible for pushing the balloon is known as thrust. In the majority of rocket engines, a mixture of fuel, such as liquid hydrogen, and oxidizer, such as liquid oxygen, is ignited to generate thrust by expelling gas through the engine's nozzle. Consequently, the rocket is propelled in the opposite direction, enabling its movement. Apart from chemical rocket engines, there exist alternative options that offer distinct advantages. Nuclear thermal propulsion (NTP) systems, which utilize nuclear energy efficiently to generate the necessary heat for converting liquid propellant into gas and producing thrust, have been under NASA's research since the 1950s. While chemical rockets will likely be employed for launching spacecraft from the Earth's surface in the near future, NTP systems hold immense potential for space travel. The remarkable aspect of NTP systems is their effectiveness and power, which surpasses that of chemical rocket engines. With the same amount of propellant, NTP systems can produce twice the thrust, making them significantly more potent and efficient. Experts predict that by reducing the travel time to Mars by approximately 25%, equivalent to around 2 months, various threats to astronauts such as cosmic radiation, microgravity, and monotony would be alleviated. Furthermore, NTP engines would enhance mission flexibility to Mars. Currently, A manned mission using a chemical rocket to Mars is only feasible during the brief period when Earth and Mars align perfectly in their orbits, which happens once every 26 months. However, the efficiency of an NTP system, coupled with its reduced fuel requirements due to weight considerations, means that it would need significantly less fuel than a chemical rocket to reach Mars. In fact, a volume of uranium scarcely larger than a marble would suffice. This powerful engine would enable expeditions even when Earth and Mars are not in the most favorable positions, offering great advantages for those who cannot wait for a 2-year interval for replenishment or rescue. Nuclear propulsion would increase the opportunities for crewed travel while decreasing the number of flights necessary to transport fuel into Earth's orbit for such voyages. The fuel requirements for space missions are substantial. For instance, the International Space Station, ISS, with a weight of approximately 420 metric tons, was painstakingly assembled over more than 30 launches spanning a decade. Transporting twice or even up to 10 times that amount of payload from Earth for a round trip to Mars would be exorbitantly expensive. It's worth noting that NASA's Space Launch System, SLS, touted as the most powerful rocket ever developed, has yet to be launched. The SLS is designed to carry 95 metric tons into space, and each launch costs around $2 billion. However, the SLS's single launch capacity is projected to increase to over 100 metric tons, and the cost per launch is expected to decrease once more capable and affordable rockets, such as SpaceX's in development and fully reusable Starship, come into play. The Starship, standing at an impressive height of 120 meters, has the potential to revolutionize space exploration. Its introduction could bring about significant changes in how scientists and researchers operate in space. Beyond facilitating human exploration and the establishment of bases on Mars, it holds the promise of creating a multiplanetary species and safeguarding civilization from extinction. If SpaceX's projections of cargo launch costs as low as $10 per kilogram are realized, it could enable the transportation of larger and heavier sensors more frequently and at a significantly reduced expense. This, in turn, could lead to the deployment of Mars rovers in groups rather than individually, an increase in the number of satellites in low Earth orbit, and advancements in the fields of astronomy, planetary science, and Earth observation through the use of space telescopes. Already, SpaceX's workhorse rocket, the Falcon 9, standing at 70 meters tall, has already reshaped the aerospace industry with its impressive capabilities and achievements. SpaceX revolutionized the space industry by introducing reusability to rockets. They achieved this by incorporating retro rockets and steerable fins to guide the first stage during re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. As a result, SpaceX has made impressive strides, with plans to launch over 50 Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets this year alone, averaging almost one launch per week. One notable advantage is the competitive pricing of their Falcon 9 launches, costing around $67 million, significantly lower than their rivals. This can be attributed to their commitment to reusability and the frequency of their launches. However, Elon Musk, the driving force behind SpaceX, aimed for even greater achievements. In 2016, at the International Astronautical Congress in Mexico, Musk unveiled his designs for a rocket capable of sustaining human life on Mars. This concept would later evolve into the Starship, with a continued emphasis on cost-effectiveness and reusability. The goal is to normalize space launches to the extent that they become as mundane and routine as regular cargo flights conducted by FedEx. The Starship's construction incorporates stainless steel, a more expensive but easier to produce material compared to the aluminum alloys commonly used in rockets. Additionally, the conventional kerosene-based rocket fuels are replaced with methane, not only due to its lower cost but also because it can be produced on Mars by combining carbon dioxide and water. The Starship's Super Heavy booster contains 33 Raptor engines and is intended to return to the launch pad after a 6-minute trip. SpaceX estimates that it can be swiftly refueled and prepared for subsequent launches within an hour. Moreover, the Starship itself is designed for reusability. Each vehicle is anticipated to be capable of launching 3 times per day, demonstrating an unprecedented level of efficiency. Furthermore, a tanker variant of the Starship would enable refueling of a fully loaded Starship while in orbit, allowing it to transport up to 100 tons of payload to the Moon or Mars. On an interplanetary scale, nuclear thermal propulsion would serve as a transfer stage or ferry. This smaller nuclear-powered rocket would dock with other components in orbit and launch its payload separately. Instead of a combustion chamber where fuel and oxidizer mix and ignite, nuclear thermal propulsion employs a nuclear reactor that heats cryogenic propellant, propelling it through the nozzle to generate thrust. Although the process resembles a rocket engine from the outside, with blazing fire, there are significant challenges associated with this technology. One major concern with nuclear thermal propulsion is the use of a high-performance reactor operating at temperatures as high as 2,500 degrees Celsius. Such extreme temperatures are daunting for both astronauts and material engineers. Additionally, the reactor would require substantial amounts of cryogenic propellant, likely sourced from on-orbit storage tanks, which introduces its own unique engineering difficulties. However, the advantage lies in the system's efficiency. The propulsion system only needs to run for a few hours in total to complete its tasks. Once the spaceship has acquired the necessary speed, it can swiftly travel to Mars or return to Earth. Among Mars mission planners, nuclear thermal propulsion is the preferred choice due to its relative simplicity. The method was identified as the most likely path to enable a crewed expedition to the Red Planet by 2039, according to the National Academy's assessment sponsored by NASA. Additionally, it received a $110 million support from congressional appropriators in July 2021. However, it is worth noting that when other technologies mature, such as fusion-powered spacecraft, they might also be utilized for transporting people to Mars in the mid-21st century. With these advancements, visiting Mars and exploring the stars could become as commonplace as current visits to the International Space Station. Perhaps in the future, it might be as effortless as visiting our neighbors. We invite you to share your thoughts on nuclear-powered spacecraft in the comments section below.